Welcome to Winning Wall Street's Money. Please take this moment now with helping me. Click here, subscribe. Next, click this bell. Next, ensure to click all. This helps you receive a notification when I posted my next videos. Next, click this thumbs up button after every time you watch my video. This pushes it up in the engagement ratings and means it will be suggested to more people, therefore is likely to get more views to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. I also have a Patreon page. Click show more. Scroll down. This link here, my Patreon, click on it. Select the membership. With this membership, you'll get access to all this information. Very good content. Sunday, May 23rd, 11:21 a.m. New York time. Currencies, the currency markets. Currencies trade on different exchanges. You can trade them on the Forex exchange, Chicago Merch Exchange, Stock Exchange. Yep, Stock Exchange, they trade as stock ETFs. And currencies in the futures markets referred to FX pairs. And the Forex market, just that, the Forex exchange. So here we're looking at the US dollar index, comprised of several currencies. This trades in the futures market. If you have a Forex broker, and if you don't have access to this data to see, it's because not all Forex brokers want to pay exchange fees to get that from a different exchange. You might look for another broker that offers you that. Here we are looking at a weekly chart of the US dollar index. Each candle is a week. And the big trend has been down. So let's look at the year. This vertical gray line here represents this year. So since this year, we have made consolidation, breakout to the upside, consolidation, breakout to the upside, consolidation, breakout to the upside. Here's the high for the year. Since that high, we've been trending down. This red candle for the week made a lower low, lower high, closed below the body of this prior week. This yellow horizontal line is a swing low. We tested it, rejected it, closed above it. Closed around that big round number, $90. If you're a technical analyst person, you might consider this a potential reversal. To me, it's not a trigger to buy yet, but it's something to be concerned about. There is a trade signal here, potential to trade. One is if we break above this high this week, candle, it could be intraday. That'd be one price level I'll be setting an alert for. Currencies for each nation has central banks. The United States, we call ours Federal Reserve. So if the Federal Reserve was to raise interest rates, that typically has an effect to strengthen the US dollar. Let's look at the 30-year yield. Here we go, 30-year yield. For the past several years, it's been trending lower to nearly zero interest rates. And since last year, we reversed and trending higher, where the US dollar had actually considered going lower last year. See, there's a difference there. Yep. So now, look at this on the 30-year yield. It's an consolidation. And let's just look at the currently year-to-date. Again, here's the gray vertical line year-to-date. And since then, we've been going higher for this year. Made a high here, pulled back in a consolidation. But it's showing more bullish bias that one would expect the prices to go higher. Well, if this goes higher, it's going to put pressure on the interest rates to be raised, which would affect the strength of the US dollar. The financial sector for banks, stock symbol XLF. And we're looking at the weekly candles. The banks would do very well with higher interest rates. So they have already been hot since last year. Just like you saw the yields I showed you, we're doing outstanding. And I have a playlist of videos on the financial sector on my YouTube channel. You can see I showed you which ones were the leaders. So we're waiting on the US dollar and the yields to make a decision. Be very cautious. There are certain people putting their positions on early and waiting for some kind of binary event to occur. Let's look at the strength of the currencies. We'll first look at the pairs on the Forex exchange of the euro. The euro makes up the biggest percentage of the US dollar. Euro, US dollar, excuse me. So we made a higher high, higher low. That gives strength to the euro against the US dollar. And look, here's a swing high right here. Yep. If we reverse and go lower, that would give strength to US dollar as well as US dollar index. The euro yen, look at that candle up there. Yep, that's a candle of indecision, possibly weakness. We may break down. So that would go lower if it does, giving strength to the yen against the euro. Safe haven currencies. Also, what could strengthen the US dollar is the US dollar is one of the safe haven currencies, US dollar, yen, and the Swiss franc. Euro pound. Inside candle for the week, indecision. If these prices decline, they give strength to the pound. Yep. Euro Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar has been very strong. Look at this. The prices in the euro have been declining, giving strength to the Canadian dollar. And the euro Swiss franc. Again, the Swiss franc is one of the safe haven currencies I mentioned. Prices for the high for there have been here, this yellow horizontal line, and they've been declining. As the prices are declining here, it's giving straight to the Swiss franc against the euro. So if we have a weakening, continuing weakening of the euro against several of these pairs, that may roll over in the US dollar index. Again, mentioned the euro is the biggest percentage of the US dollar index. Could also goose up the US dollar. And the euro Aussie dollar. We have this consolidation that we finally broke above it. This is giving strength to the euro. Let's see if we go up to these swing highs, where Aussie is heavily weighted in commodities. So we know gold has been going up a lot higher on fear. So you'd wonder why this is not going lower in favor of the Aussie. Maybe some policies they're doing, monetary policies. Let's go on to the next. The second biggest currency pair in the US dollar is the yen. Inside candle for the week, this yellow one, indecision, which is also a consolidation here. And we can see we're just shy of all-time high versus the all-time low for the year is here. Let's see what happens here. But this is again consolidation, breakdown, consolidation. So we have this continue. If we have this continuing decline, that would give strength to the yen. And potential trade idea right here is we have a breakdown or breakout next week anytime. That may be the next trend. That's a trade idea right there. If you don't understand that, draw my Patreon. The euro yen, we already discussed about that. The pound yen, yep, strength to the pound. Look at that tight little trading range there for the week. So that's a potential reversal right there, that little dodgy. See what happens next week. That's a potential trade idea too, a break above or below of this weekly candle come the next few days. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Super strong Canadian dollar for year to date. All-time high. We just hit an all-time high. The Canadian dollar really strong. My past currency videos, I mentioned that Canadian dollar is really strong against multiple currencies. Strong like bull. Swiss franc and Japanese yen, two safe haven currencies. The trend is upside. The momentum is upside. This is giving favor to the Swiss franc against the yen. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Huge consolidation. And that new high here failed to follow through, broke back down, declining, giving strength to the yen against the euro. So we see, again, weakness in the Australian dollar against several currencies. And we look at the British pound against currencies. Care pair. Pound US dollar had a consolidation here. Breakout to the upside. This is giving strength to the pound against the US dollar. Here's the all-time high for the year right here. Let's see if we make it there. But again, showing extremely well this long consolidation of breakout. First, we got consolidation here too. So the momentum still to the upside, the British pound. British pound, Japanese yen. Strong like bull, British pound. Broke out this consolidation. Again, the weekly candles, very suspicious. We see this candle on several weekly candles. Yep, on top of a trend. This has often been in the past, reversal signals. So use caution if you're going to be entering a trade here on several of these currencies. Euro, British pound, already mentioned that. Pound, Canadian dollar. So the overall trend for year to date, we had the high there and declining prices giving favor to the Canadian dollar. And we'll see if we have this rollover here, because this big, huge candle sell-off, this is probably just a minor retracement inside this candle. We'll see if that happens. Look for a potential trade out there to short the pound against the Canadian dollar, and then that would be strengthening the Canadian dollar against the pound. Pound Swiss franc, huge consolidation. Inside candle indecision for the week. But again, the momentum has been declining here, giving favor to the Swiss franc, safe haven currency. And the pound Australian dollar. Wow, really strong for the British pound up there. Up strong. Yep. So again, the Australian dollar is weak against several currencies. And let's look directly at the US dollar pairs. Now these pairs I'm showing you here are not in the Forex exchange. They're in the futures exchange, CME. Their symbols / followed by a 6 and a letter representing those currencies. But we already mentioned the top three, but I'll go through them briefly. We have the the euro gaining strength against the US dollar. This is a trend, and it's in the favor of the euro against the US dollar. Japanese yen, it's an consolidation, trending down. That would be in favor of the US dollar. And the British pound, trending up, giving favor, bias towards the pound. And look at this, the Canadian dollar, very strong. The momentum's to the upside, it's bullish bias, strong Canadian dollar, giving strength to the Canadian dollar against the US dollar. And the Swiss franc, also trending higher, giving strength to the Swiss franc against the US dollar. Australian dollar, we already see weakness here. Inside candle for the week. So be concerned coming next week. There are several trade idea opportunities I showed you here also. If we have policy this week that comes out, makes an announcement, anything about from the Federal Reserve, that should either continue trends in certain ones if it's positive for those trend investors. So we'll see what happens in the next few days. But I just showed you several opportunities for trade ideas. I'll watch those closely. Thank you, as always, for spending just a little bit of your time with me. Let me know what you thought about this video, and please let me know what you want to see next. If you got value from this video, if this was helpful, then please consider sharing a small monetary donation to my channel by going below and clicking on my PayPal link. You can leave a small tip. If you don't want to share financial support, no problem. Just click the like and subscribe.